Hello, in this video I will be discussing neoclassicist French painter Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres and neoclassicism in decorative arts. Neoclassicism is the 18th and 19th century movement that developed in Europe as a reaction to the excess of Baroque and Rococo. Restraint and simplicity, along with the precise depiction and harmony of clear forms and content, are the main characteristics of neoclassicism. Neoclassicist artists tend to prefer somewhat more specific qualities, which include line over color, straight lines over curves, closed compositions over diagonal compositions into deep spaces. The neoclassical movement involved the decorative and visual arts, literature, theater, music, and architecture, and it continued to evolve until the early 19th century, when it started to compete against the movement of Romanticism. Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres was considered to be an icon of cultural conservatism and neoclassical French painting. He also trained under Jacques-Louis David, who was considered to be the pioneer and master of neoclassical painting. Ingres became a prominent figure in French neoclassical painting after the death of his mentor Jacques-Louis David. Ingres wanted to conserve the classical tradition of Raphael and Nicolas Poussin and the spatial and anatomical distortions that characterized his portraits and nudes. However, he was never afraid to be bold and take risks. Despite his talents, he was met with quite a few disappointments in his early career. He was rejected by the French Academy and critics. Many of his earlier works suffered because of this. He did not gain any recognition until he was about 44 years of age, and then critics started revisiting his earlier works and giving him proper recognition. The Valpinson Bather was created in 1808 and originally titled The Seated Woman. It was one of the works the artist sent to Paris in 1808 when he was studying at the French Academy in Rome. This early work is considered to be a masterpiece of harmonious lines and delicate light. In this painting, Ingres paints a nude woman, but more restrained and chaste. The viewer can only see the backside of the woman, giving it a sense of ambiguity. It is one of the earliest paintings reflecting on his time in Italy and the influence that it had on him. She is depicted as nude and seen from behind, with a red sandal lying forgotten on the ground beside her. There is no mythological reference to give us context for this nude. She is the sole subject and purpose of this work, and she is framed by tapestries that highlight the arch and the curve of her back. Critics also termed her as deeply voluptuous. Her stillness and airiness and her sense of immobility makes her somehow chaste and reserved. Her pose also gives off a sense of airiness because her figure does not fully sink into the bed. The scene overall is seemingly calm and simple. This painting was really loved for its ambiguity. Ingres almost purposely gave it no meaning or purpose. The nude woman is what people are attracted to the most. Some may even miss minor details like the water running into the bath. If you follow the line of her body down to the line of her leg and to her foot, you will see it on the bottom left of the portrait. The restrained female nude is typical of neoclassicism, and people also believed that even though the woman was depicted chastely, it did not mean they were undesirable. The Turkish bath was created in 1852 and later modified in 1862. Towards the end of his life, Ingres created the most erotic of all his works with this harem scene. This late masterpiece was only revealed to the public many years after his death. The main erotic element in the painting focuses on two women, one of whom is seen caressing the breast of another sitting next to her. This picture combines two subjects which had been close to Ingres' heart, the nude and the Orient, which is depicted in the interior. Ingres takes figures from previous works, such as the Valpinson Bather. In this painting, she can be seen in the foreground with a musical instrument. None of the nudes were created using a live model. In this painting, there are two groups of figures in the space. However, the space is not clearly defined. There is harmony in the composition. Even the frame follows the curve of the painting. Ingres particularly chose a circular frame as seen on pictures by Raphael. Raphael was an artist he greatly admired during his career. He also portrayed his subjects in a cold and filtered light, allowing the use of line to be more dominant. Originally, Prince Napoleon was the one who commissioned the harem scene from Ingres around 1848. The painting was delivered in 1859, but then returned because it shocked him. The painter continued to rework this picture until 1863, even though it was dated 1862. It was only finally revealed to the wider public in 1905. Neoclassical decorative arts first began in France, and it was first adopted by furniture makers in the 1760s. Neoclassical furniture was inspired by classical elements from ancient Greece and Rome, and is often referred to as the Louis XVI style, named after the French king who governed in the time of the French Revolution. This style was inspired by the art and design of classical Greece and Rome, as well as archaeological discoveries. Furniture of this period was characteristically light and elegant in appearance. Neoclassical furniture embraced clean, straight lines and geometric shapes while still incorporating some detailed carvings that were more prominent in preceding periods such as Baroque and Rococo. Some design elements featured are tapered, fluted, or reeded legs, gold-gilt accents, scrolls, medallions, rosettes, and lyre designs. Fabrics and upholstery in a neoclassical design were often rich, but muted hues, such as moss greens, grayish blues, dusty pinks, subdued maroons, and classic whites. Wide stripes and repeating patterns were popular prints during this period, along with toiles, which is the French word for linen cloths, depicting Greco-Roman motifs. Vases and urns were the decorative accessory to have in a neoclassical design. These vessels were often designed in a solid color and embellished with white designs and repeating patterns, such as garlands or swags. Many neoclassical accessories featured mythological creatures such as griffins, satyrs, and even sphinxes when Egyptian influences become popular in the later half of the neoclassical era. You can see these design elements in lamps, paintings, pillows, mirrors, and other accessories.